You ever hear a double drop so perfect that you get that immediate stank face? In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I set up my cues to get that perfect double drop or transition. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Sammy and I make music as Arriel. You can check me out on Spotify, SoundCloud, Audius, and more. I'll throw all the links down in the description. If you find any value from this video, I'd greatly appreciate it if you subscribed. Before we get started, I would like to mention that I am no way affiliated with Pioneer DJ. I'd also like to point out that I stream DJ sets to Twitch on the first Saturday of every month. I'll throw the links down in the description as well. I'm going to show you guys this simple and easy way to always mix in and out of your tracks and ensure your transitions and your double and triple drops are always matched and phrased together. All right, here. So this is going to be a real quick video. Someone asked me how I set up my cues in Rekordbox so I can set up double drops and prepare those and kind of know when I'm going to be on time at all times pretty much. And so this is going to be just a quick explanation of how I set up my cues. And take this with a grain of salt. You don't always have to do this. In fact, this does not compare to knowing the music like the back of your hand. That's the most important part. But this is kind of some quick tips on setting up your cues so you can always have your double drops come in right on time, or basically be able to mix in and out when you want to and prepare that in a way where it kind of makes it easier in a live setting. So I'm going to give you some examples with the cues already kind of set up here, and then I'll go through and I'll explain how I did that. So these two tracks right here, let's see. So this is a new one I just put out last month. It's called Getaway. So here I've got my A cue, and here, let's set up here. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it right before my C cue so I can kind of give you guys an example of what I mean here. So let's go. So let's actually, first off, let's make sure that everything's on time here. So just for this example, I'm going to go ahead and change this to 145 BPM.
Run up in your shit.
The superfluid. The two liquids behave nothing like any other known liquid, although it could be said that helium-1, the warmer phase, approximates the behavior of common liquids. But it is helium-2, the colder phase, It is called the super.
All right, so you get the idea. Yeah, shout out Starstruck on that last one also. That's my remix that I started for his track Death Pit featuring Rico Act. Shit goes off. Yeah, so any case, let's go through some of these and I'll show you exactly what I mean here. So if you noticed, basically, what I'm trying to explain here is, again, how you can get your drops to always line up with a little bit of preparation involved can go a long way. So yeah, all right. So basically, I have this method here. It's this A, B, C, Q method. Now, it doesn't always, it's not always exactly like this, but you kind of, the way I've set this up where is A is basically my intro, B is going to be the middle, the drop usually, and then C is going to be the outro. Now, most of the time with dance music, with electronic music, you're always going to have that build up into the drop. And let's say you want to have a double drop. That means you're playing two songs on top of each other, both of the drops basically in phrase right on top of each other. And so what I tend to do is I like to count by 8 or 16 bars, right? So let's say I have track 1 and I have track 2, right? So I want those drops to land right on top of each other. So with track 1, what I'll do is I'll set a cue at the beginning of the build up and then also a cue at the drop. And I'll do that same thing with track 2. But typically, as we know, there's usually going to be 2 drops in a track. And so what I'll do is I'll set up these cues on both of these tracks, but on separate drops. So they end up falling right on top of each other. So here's an example of what I mean. So as we see here, we have a track where, on track 1, we have an AQ, a BQ, a CQ, and a DQ, right? So if we look at A here and we count, and if you don't know this, you can actually use your arrow keys to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there we go. So now we know that from the intro to the drop, that's 16, right? So I do that same thing across the tracks. So what I've done here is I've set up the second drop the same way. C and D both have that. So I know that there is 16 bars in between that. So what I want to do is I want to set up that same kind of cue system on my next track, right? So let's go ahead and let's play this one more time so you see what I mean here. So I know that if I start the next track, when the playhead hits QC of the first track, then they're going to fall right on top of each other because I've prepared them to do so beforehand. Pretty cool. And you don't always have to do this method with double drops. You can basically write the songs as you want, or basically arrange them how you want. Let's say you want to have a build-up into a build-up of the next song. I've been doing that a lot lately. It creates a lot of tension and kind of it messes up the dance floor in a good way. But yeah, so basically what I would do is the way I set this up is I find the drop. So right there, we know that's where the drop is. And a lot of times when Rekordbox or your preferred software, what it does when it analyzes it, sometimes it'll analyze it off. So you want to make sure the first thing that you do is that you set up your beat grids correctly. That's really important. So I'll go through, I'll find the drop, and in Rekordbox, the way to set the down note on your beat grid is this little guy right here, this little red and white little bar right here. So I would go like that, and that basically sets the down note. Then what I'll do is I'll use my arrow key and I'll count back either 8 or 16. Typically, sometimes I do 4 if it's really quick, but for this example, this one's going to be 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So you set up your cues there. Let me go back. How to exactly set up a cue. So let's go here. All right. So you kind of want to zoom in to make sure you're all zoomed in here. So you've went ahead, you've set that, then you want to go ahead and let's say these aren't here, right? Let's just say none of those are there. So you go ahead, you set QB, and then you want to hit memory. That's pretty important too, because that's going to basically allow you to use memory cues in your CDJ, your XDJ. Okay, so you set up your cue there, and then you would count back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you'd set up your A. Boom. Once again, memory. Okay, then we'll find the second drop. Know that it's right. Right about there. Cool. Set up G, Q, memory. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'd set up C. There we go. Now, I know it seems like a lot right now, but you can kind of start getting used to this, doing it, and it becomes a lot quicker after a while. See, now what we're going to do is we're going to do that same exact thing to our next track. So for this example, let's take out these markers already. Okay. Now, again, you want to find the drop.
Because of this, it is called the superfluid.
Okay. Zoom in. Okay. Remember, make sure that your beat grid is on. Okay. We'll set our BQ. Memory, and then we'll count back again. And on this, to get track B, to use the arrow keys, you want to go ahead and hold Shift. So again, for track B, hold Shift, use the arrow key, count back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go and put A there. Okay.
But it is helium-2, the colder phase, which is truly different. Because of this, it is called the superfluid.
See that? Since I set my beat grid, the drop, the actual grid, it falls right on time. So we're going to go and put a DQ there, memory, and then count back again. Okay, so now let's test this out. Be good if we did this on time. Let's try that again.
The design is quite simple.
All right. Yeah, so hopefully that helps, and it allows you to just prepare them a little bit easier, and allows you to have a little bit more fun on stage lets you prepare a little bit beforehand, make sure that everything is on time, and yeah, hopefully this helps. Okay, now let's recap. So 1, you got to set your beat grid. Number 2, find the first drop of your first track and set a BQ on the first drop. Number 3, using your arrow keys, press back either 8 or 16 times and set an AQ. Repeat this for the second drop, but use the C and D cues instead. Now do this same method for each song. And remember, for track B, hold shift while pressing the arrow keys. I used to have different artists come over and we'd live stream shows every weekend. It was really great to see and learn from these artists, and I am beyond grateful for that. But what tripped me out was when DJs didn't prepare their sets with cues or even set the beat grids. And don't get me wrong, you can certainly play an amazing set without using Rekordbox or your brand's DJ software. But preparing your sets beforehand can give you the ability to create a DJ set almost like you were producing a song. So if there's anything you can take away from this, it's that the more time you spend preparing your cues beforehand allows you more time to fuck around while you're on stage. I hope this helps some of you who might be having trouble setting up your cues. If you have any tips or tricks of your own, I'd love to hear them, so definitely post them in the comments below. I'd like to shout out JoJo Greens, Lazy Flex, and Starstruck for the tunes in this video. And much love to you guys for watching.
I've been trapping, just gotta be with terror. Lacking, I'm never lacking, I gotta be aware. I got something with me, pull it out and leave it chest slit. Everybody about to die inside the dirt.